Okay, so this is chapter 3, which is input and output statements. Awak dah ready? Are you ready, guys?
Dah.
Dah, okay. Okay. Okay, so input and output statement. This is very important bila kita buat sesuatu programming. Yes, we must have input, and after we get input, we do the process, and then we will come out with the output. Okay, so input output statement is very important. Okay, so outcome for this chapter is student to know what is standard data input and output. Okay, and then after that, after you know about the data input and output, you will code that one based on the standard data input and output. Okay, so as I always mention, in programming you have input, you have process, and you will have output. Okay. Okay, so first we go to the data types. Okay, so before we proceed with the input and output, we must know about the data types. Okay, dia sama macam kita lah, macam manusia. Bila dalam dunia ni kan, kita kena tahu orang tu data type dia apa. Adakah dia manusia? Adakah dia golongan binatang? Okay, kalau binatang pula dia ada banyak pecahan. Dia ada herbivore apa-apa kan. So sama. Dalam programming pun we must have data types. Okay. So data types di sini ada beberapa data types. Contohnya kalau data type itu adalah text, type dia adalah text. So data type di dalam coding dia dikenali sebagai string. Okay. Contoh teks adalah ini macam hello world, macam nama awak, Afnan, Siti Nur Syafiqah, Mimi Shazira. Okay, so that one we call as a string. Okay, so dalam Python keyword untuk string adalah str. Okay, str. So basically macam yang saya bagi tahu dalam kelas sebelum ni, input kalau kita tak dalam Python, when we enter any input, it is automatically in string, in text. Okay, so if you want to use another data type, you must convert that one. Okay. Okay, and then type numeric. Kalau dalam real life kita ada numeric. So in data type we have dalam programming we have data type for numeric named as integer, float or complex. Okay. Kalau dalam Python keyword dia integer, float, complex. C small letter. Okay. Okay. Integer. Example for integer is like this, 20. Number lah, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 20. 25, 1, 100. That one is integer. Okay, float means that floating point lah. We have a floating point. For example, 20.5. Okay. Kalau complex ni maksudnya banyak. Contohnya 5J. Okay, joule. Okay. And then other than that, we have data type example boolean. Okay. So data type in programming also as a boolean. Keyword in Python, bool. B-O-O-L. Okay. And then example of boolean in Python macam ni. X equal to true. T capital letter. Or X equal to false. F capital letter. Okay. So that one as a example for the data type for boolean. Okay. And there are many more types. Okay, you can refer to the tutorial. Okay. Okay. Next, input. Input is any information or data sent to a computer to be processed. Okay. User enter the input. Okay. User must understand the type of input data. Okay. So basically how to make sure user understand, you have to guide. Okay. You have to guide in your coding. Okay. So using instruction, by using instruction function, so you have like this. This is the syntax to ask user to enter the input. Okay. You have variable name. Variable name here means that identifier that will store that input. Okay. And then you have equal to, and then you have the syntax input bracket. Okay, and then inside here is the instruction. Text to display in this quote is instruction to the user to enter the input. Okay. For example, we have like this. Our variable name is first name equal to input bracket enter first name. So this one is our instruction for the user. So user understand that they must enter first name. So first name of course in the string. Okay. And then we have the next one instruction for the last name. Last name equal to input enter last name. So we ask user to enter last name. Okay. 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 So what is this function? What is the function input? What is the purpose of input? Can somebody answer? What is the purpose of we using function input? Class? What is the purpose of using function input? Boleh jawab? Seorang? Jawab je, tak apa. Saya tak ada depan mata you all. Tak boleh nak buat apa. Salah pun tak apa. Zikri Fahmi. What is the purpose of using function input here? User key in the data. Yes, Nurul Shazana cakap user key in the data. Yes, betul. Means that we want user to key in the data. Okay. So when we use input, user can key in the data and then will be stored in last name or first name as our variable. Okay. Dia sama kalau dalam awak belajar C semua tu, scanf. Okay. Faham kelas? Jawa saya tak ingat apa. Faham kelas? Faham Okay. Ini kalau kita minta user enter input. Okay. Dan kita boleh buat another way, which is we can define it in the code or we can initialize that value. Okay. So let's say in my code I put first name equal to Suryanti, last name equal to Awang. So I have my data, my input already defined in this code. Okay. So kita tak perlu pakai yang ni. Kalau nak pakai yang ni pun boleh. Tapi kita tengok kesesuaian coding kita lah. Okay. Okay. We have another example here. Let's say this one, we have to calculate volume. Ya, sama macam last class. So we have radius. We ask user to enter the radius. And then height, we ask user to enter height. Okay, this one, pi equal to 3.142. So, ini adalah contoh untuk yang define. Okay, kita define our input. Okay, kita define our data in our code. Okay, so yang ni kita minta user yang masukkan. So, this one, we ask, we define our input. Okay, okay. Normally untuk define input tu adalah untuk input yang berjenis constant lah. Tidak perlu user yang ubah. Okay. So kalau yang ini kita berubah-ubah mengikut kehendak user, radius dengan height ni. Tapi kalau pi, it is constant. So that's why we use define. Okay. We use define. Okay. Next. After that, this is process. Okay. So yang ini kita print out lah. Okay. Okay, last class saya dah bagi tahu why we use eval. Ingat lagi tak? Why we use eval? Kelas, why we use eval? Ingat lagi tak? Baru hari Senin lepas. Saya siap debug lagi. Apa beza sebelum eval dengan after eval? Somebody, please answer. Someone? Salah tak apa. Saya tak boleh rotan pun. Duduk jauh.
Jadikan data dalam bentuk integer.
Yes, correct. Okay. Because kalau kita tak pakai this eval, our input that have been entered by user, by default it is in text. Okay. So text dalam height, dalam radius kita tak boleh guna text lah sebab kita nak buat calculation. So we need it in integer. So that's why we use eval here to convert that text into integer. Okay. Okay, kelas faham? Faham, Okay, good. Okay, so this is input. So now we go to output. Output is an outcome from the process, presentable and meaningful, display after execution of process. Okay, and cara untuk guna output tu, function dia macam ni. Okay, print bracket, and then if you have text to be displayed, so you must put in this quote, and then you write what is the text you want to display. Okay, for example, this one, we want to display volume of cylinder is upper. So this one is our output basically. Okay, so we have here print upper, and then we have comma, and we have what is the variable that we want to print out. Okay, so in this case I want to print out this value, so this value belongs to this variable, so that's why I put here this is just a text to display, and then comma, and then I have this variable. Okay, so this variable to print my output from here. Okay, so that's why I put like this. Okay, so ini round ni for what? What is the purpose for round? Okay, to control our floating point kan? Okay, to round off. So in this case, my floating point will be 2 floating point. That's why I put 2 there. Okay. Okay. So this is a few tutorial that you can use. Okay. Sebab last sem ada rupanya. Saya tak sangka ada yang tak tahu nak guna tutorial. So saya tunjuk. Awak copy ni kan. Copy apa? Link ni. Awak pergilah paste dekat Google awak tu. Okay. Kenapa pula ni? Oh, move to new location dah. Python for beginners. Okay, so there are many Python here. Awak boleh cari, awak boleh gunalah mana yang awak nak. Okay, so kita try yang lain pula. Kalau yang ini cepatnya dia ubah. Last time okey lagi. Okay, kalau kita tengok yang ini. Okay, so awak boleh tengoklah dekat sini ni kat tepi ni. Jangan takut untuk klik, just klik. Okay, so there are many tutorial here. Overview of Python. Okay, basic operator, arithmetic. Okay, apa lagi nak tengok? Let's say basic syntax. Okay, so we want to see the basic syntax. Okay, so awak boleh tengok kat sini. Okay, cuma kadang-kadang dalam tutorial dia guna apa syntax yang lain sikit lah, tapi awak boleh try. Okay, sebab Python ni dia berubah cepat sangat, perubahan dia cepat sangat. So kadang ada Python yang version lama syntax dia macam ni, so Python yang baru syntax dia dah macam ni. Dia dah macam ni. Okay, tapi sebenarnya dia tidak jauh beza lah, still lagi boleh guna lah. Okay, as long as awak tahu. So kalau dia kata, kalau macam ni kan, print ni awak boleh try dalam coding awak. Mana coding? Sekejap saya buka coding. You can try in your coding. Okay, let's say kan, kalau dalam tutorial ni tadi dia tunjuk hello print tak ada bracket kan. So awak boleh try. Kalau tak ada bracket boleh tak? Okay. So tak boleh. So maksudnya kena letak bracket lah. Okay. Macam tu je lah. So, sebab dia tak jauh beza lah sintek dia, sikit-sikit je. Okay. Sebab yang ini tutorial ni dia guna Python yang syntax lama. Yang dalam Tony ni kita guna Python yang the latest syntax. Okay. So tapi yang lain-lain tu lebih kurang sama. Okay. Apa lagi boleh tengok dalam ni? Variable types. Okay. So you can, awak boleh tengok lah dekat sini. Okay. Basic operator. Okay. Decision making. Okay, decision making ni saya tak masuk lagi. So there are many more lah dalam ni. Awak boleh tengok tutorial kat sini. Okay, we go to the next tutorial. Okay, tutorial yang ni. Okay, just klik je tepi ni. Okay, Python syntax. Ni yang ini dia guna yang style baru dah. Python comment. Okay, comment tu maksudnya yang ni lah yang di dalam hashtag. Okay. Python variable. Okay. Boleh tengok dalam ni. Okay. So ada banyak cara lah untuk awak cari tutorial. Ataupun yang macam saya tunjuk semalam, direct tulis dekat sini. Contohnya awak nak buat apa tu? Boolean in Python. Terus je type kat situ. So dia akan keluar lah. Boleh klik je mana-mana. Okay? Okay kelas? So jangan takut untuk klik-klik yang saya bagi ni. Sebab last sem ada student dia bila dia buka ni, contohnya kan bila dia buka yang ni tutorial dia ni, dia kata dia tak tahu nak cari dekat mana. So sebenarnya ada kat tepi ni. Dia kata ingatkan tak boleh nak klik. So kena klik lah. Okay? Boleh kelas? Boleh ya kelas?
Boleh.
Okay. So now we move to the next. Okay, kita buat exercise. Okay, so kita nak buat exercise ni. Saya hope your day is program for fun. Kita nak buat fun hari ni. Okay, code is fun. Okay, tak nak stress. Okay, so first kita buat exercise low level exercise. Easy lah, easy. Kalau main dalam game dia easy. Okay. So what you going to do is to develop a program for the following computational problems. Your program must request user to enter the value. So means that you must ask user to enter the input. Okay. So the first one is to calculate an average of 3 values in integer. So in this case, how many input that we need? How many input?
3
input. And what is the data type? What is the data type of that input?
Numeric.
Okay, numeric. So in Python we must use which one?
Eval.
Which is for
Integer.
yes. Okay, correct. So sebenarnya paling senang input jenis integer. Okay. So basically kita nak integer. Okay. Okay, so first I'm going to draw the flowchart. So we start with begin. And then we going to ask user to enter value 1, 2 and 3. And then after that, because our aim is to get the average. So our process will be to calculate the average. This is how to calculate average. Average equal to value 1 plus value 2 plus value 3 and then divide by 3. So we will get the average. And then after that, we will print out the output. What is our output? Our output is average. So we will print out average. So our coding is done here. Okay. So now I want you to open your Tony. Everybody open your Tony. Okay. Semua orang dah buka Tony? Okay, so now follow me. Okay, create file, new. Okay. Dah create file new. Dah Kemudian save. Let's say I'm going to create my new folder here. Easy. Okay, easy level. So this one is to calculate average. My file name is calculate average. Okay. So now automatically my file name here is calculateaverage.py. Okay. Semua orang dah buat macam ni? Follow?
Sudah.
Okay, good.
Dah.
So now we go to our question tadi. Dia kata begin. Okay, so now we must have these 3 input. So first what we need to do is we need to have our variable. So our variable, let's say I put here value 1. Okay, or you want to do like this pun boleh, ataupun awak nak letak value while 1 pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay, so now I want to put my variable name as value underscore 1. Okay, equal to, so our syntax for input is input, right? Input bracket, inside here is our instruction to the user. So we want user to enter value 1, value 2 and value 3. So we put here, we put the instruction enter value 1. Okay. Okay, so we know that in Python when we do this when we use this function input, by default it is in text. Okay, so the input will be in text. So now we must change it into integer because our value must be in integer. Okay, because we want to calculate the average. So in this case, I'm going to convert this input from text to integer. So I will use eval here. So what is the thing that I want to convert is the whole thing here. Okay. Okay. Okay, class? Faham? Faham, class?
Faham.
Okay, good. So you must follow actually when you the way I explain it is actually penceritaan, okay? Cerita di dalam coding, okay? The story inside the code, okay? So dia macam tu lah, okay? Again, let's move to the next value. Value 2. Okay, my variable name is value underscore 2. Okay, so value 2 is a variable that will store the input from the user. So the syntax will be identifier space equal to, and then again because I want user to input, so I will use input function. What I'm going to input is I will ask user. So I put the instruction to the user here. Enter value 2. Okay. So I know that in Python, by default input, any input is in string or in text. So we know that in this case, value must be in integer. So I need to convert my text into integer. So I use this for this function eval. So what I'm going to convert is the whole thing in input. Okay? Okay. Faham Faham kelas? Faham tak kelas? Satu-satu dah ni saya terang ni. Okay? So now okay, good. So now for input value 3 pula. Okay. Okay. Enter value 3. Okay, dah siap. Semua orang dah siap input? So saya letak komen dekat sini sikit. Input from user. Okay. Dah, semua orang dah buat?
Dah, madam.
Okay, good. So now we have next process to calculate an average. So an average. So now I'm because I want to calculate average, so I need one variable. So I name my variable as a average. AVRG. Okay, average. Okay. So awak nak letak nama penuh pun tak apa, average. Nak letak nama singkat-singkat pun boleh, average. So saya nak letak nama penuh lah. Average equal to, so what is the formula for average? We just follow this one, value 1, value 2, value 3 bahagi dengan 3. So we have value 1. So saya guna matematik punya ni lah. Okay, value 1. Betul tak kalau saya buat macam ni? Sekejap value 2, 3. Betul tak?
Salah.
Kenapa?
Sebab kena sama dengan atas.
Ya, betul. Bagus. Macam tu lah. Okay. So, kita kena sama dengan this one. Okay. So, we have underscore. Semua tu kena ada underscore. Kalau saya buat macam ni, betul tak?
Semua kena sama.
Okay, good. Okay. So, we have like this. Okay. You have to remember, any variable, any identifier that you use, you must use the same name. Okay. As you used before. Okay. Dekat sini awak dah guna macam ni. So, dekat bawah ni pun kena macam tu. Okay. Okay, sekarang proses dah siap. So, now we want to print output. Print output. Output apa that we going to print is average. Okay. So, syntax to print output, just guna function print. Okay, and then you have the bracket tu. Kemudian, let's say you want to print average direct. You don't want to display any text. So, awak boleh buat kat sini average. Okay, dia boleh keluar terus. Okay, so kalau awak run, okay, value 1, 3, 4, 5. So, you can see here, directly keluar 4. Okay, but, as I mentioned before, output must be presentable and meaningful. So, if kita letak macam ni saja, if we just print out the value directly like this, it is not presentable and meaningful. So, that's why the good practice is you must have the something to be told to the user. What is this output? So this output is average for the 3 values is average. Okay, and then after the text you want to display, you must put comma. Okay, so again 3, 4, 5. So, it is more presentable and meaningful. You have here average for the 3 values is 4.0. Okay, class? Faham? Okay, semua orang dah siap buat? Okay, cuba buat dulu sampai siap. Yang ni. Okay, for the next one, kita ada, okay, calculate an average of 5 values and then the average must be in 2 floating point. Okay, so coding awak tadi tu, awak tambah je. Instead of 3 values, so now you must have 5 values and you find the average for that 5 value. Kemudian, you have to print out that average in 2 floating point. Okay, buat sekarang. Okay, senyap je semua. Kusyuknya tengah buat. Betul tak?
Betul.
Okay, so now we must print out that output in 2 floating point. So we must use function round. What we going to round is we going to round the average. Jangan lupa letak penutup bracket dia. So we know that we want to round average in 2 floating points. So we have average, comma, 2. Okay. So Betul tak kelas?
Madam.
Okay. So we have 5.8 sebab dia mungkin 580 ni. So bila dia round dia akan jadi 5.8 lah. Okay. Okay. Semua siap? Semua siap yang ni? Kita nak move to the next one. Semua orang siap yang ni? Faris? Okay. Good. Kamil dah. Okay. Okay dah semua Okay. Okay, good. So now we move to the next one. Calculate area. Okay, yang ni yang flowchart tadi. Okay, now this one. Calculate area of a triangle. Okay. So we start with begin and then we must ask user to enter height and base of triangle. So our area formula is equal to height times base divide by 2. Okay. So you must know the formula first before you define what is the input that user must enter. Okay. So in this case we know that our formula for area is area equal to height times base divide by 2. So that user must enter height and user must enter base. So our input will be height and base. Okay. So after that we're going to print out area here. Okay. So we do our okay, we create new folder pula, new file. Okay. So I want to save first. I'm going to save this code as slownya kenapa ni? Okay. Sekejap ya. Okay. Calculate apa tadi? Area Calculate area of triangle. Okay. So now you can see here. Kenapa saya punya slow sangat ni? Okay. Ni. So now you can see here my file name is calculate area of triangle.py. Okay. So the first one is we need to have input. Our input is height and base. Okay. So we're going to have here is input height and base. Okay. So height, okay, the variable first equal to input. Okay. So I'm going to put instruction to the user. Enter height of triangle. Okay. So again, because we want height in integer, so we must convert this one from string to the integer. So next we have base equal to the same thing here. Copy, paste, enter base. Okay. Okay. Next, input done. So now we want to do the process. Calculate area. Okay. So our area formula is area equal to height times base over 2. Okay, so we have height. Okay, nama kena sama. Kalau nak elak jadi error, just copy here and paste here. Height times base over 2. Okay. So now process done. So move to the output. Output, what is our output? Is area. So we going to print our output. So I'm going to print it in the presentable and meaningful output. So I'm going to put some information or this description. What is this input? Okay, the area of the triangle is. So what I'm going to print is I'm going to print this area. Okay. So after that quote, I will put comma and I will put area. Okay. Okay. So done. Run here. So height of triangle, let's say 5, base is 8. So I have my area is 20.0. Okay. Okay. Okay kelas. Senang je kan? Okay, awak buat sampai siap. Oh, okay, you have done this one. Okay, yang low level dah siap, easy level dah siap. So next we move to the intermediate level. Okay. So for the intermediate level, I want you to develop a program for the following computational problems. Your program must request user to enter the value. Okay, the first one is I want you to calculate slope, which is m, between two lines. Slope equation is m equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, user must enter value for y and x respectively. So, how many y, how many x that user must enter? Class, how many x and how many y? 2. Okay. Y1, Y2, X1, X2. Okay, so user must enter that one. And then after that, after user enter that input here, so you must do the process which is to find the slope. So how to find the slope is based on this equation. M equal to Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Okay, and then after that, after you do this process, you must print out the output of M. Okay? Okay. So, jom kita buat. You all buat. Cepat. Saya tutup dulu. Tutup dulu. Okay, jom buat sekarang. Senang je. Macam ni je. Ni mana ni? Salah. Yang ni yang lain. Yang ni yang nombor 2. Mana nombor 1? Okay. This one. First, you ask user to enter x1, x2, y1, y2. And then, you do the process here. M equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then after that, you will print out this M value. Okay? Okay, buat dulu. Save. Jangan tak save. You all jangan delete all codings that you already done, jangan delete. Okay, because after this, you're going to use it in the next chapters. Okay? Okay, awak buat dulu sampai siap. So now we move to the next one. Dah saya harap semua orang dah siap, okay? Save siap-siap. Okay, we move to the next exercise. Number 2, we want to find B, where K minus B equal to M minus 10 over L. So, input that user must enter is K, M and J. Okay, J ke L? L lah. Silap ni. L. Aduh, saya tak ubah juga lagi. Okay, so user must enter K, M and L. Okay, and then your program will process the values to produce B. Okay, so first you must change this formula in order to get B. To get B macam mana? How to get B? Based on this formula?
Alihkan.
Macam mana? Okay. Dia akan jadi?
K minus M tolak 10 per L sama dengan B.
Okay. So, kita tengok kat sini. Saya dah buat hari tu. Okay, ni lah. Okay, so kita akan dapat macam ni lah. Okay, lepas tu dalam kes ni saya tak cakap dekat sini lah nak kena round pada berapa. Cuma in this case, I round as a 3 floating point. Okay. Okay, good. So now we move to the next exercise. Next exercise number 3, convert inch to cm. So the calculation will be 1 inch equal to 2.54 cm. So in this case, user must enter value for inch. So your program will process the value to produce in cm. Okay. So very simple. Saya buka sekejap. Sekejap kenapa dia terkeluar tadi? Okay, saya buka kat sini. Inch ke ni. Okay, so we must ask user to enter value in inch. So now in this one, we will do the process to convert inch to the cm. So inch times 2.54. Okay. So let's say awak nak letak kat sini juga kan. Contohnya awak nak letak satu constant dekat sini pun boleh, tak ada masalah. cm equal to 2.54. So dekat sini akan jadi inch times cm. Okay, sama je. Okay, so when we run it, enter value in inch, let's say 5. So I'm going to have a value in cm is 12.7. Okay, okay kelas, boleh? Senang je kan? Senang tak? Orang Terengganu kata semesek. Senang tak kelas? Senang lah. Senang kan? Senang. Senang, pejam mata boleh buat ni. Senang Dah siap semua
Siap.
Okay, good. So, sekarang dah siap. Okay, so kita move to hard level. Hard level ni, you must develop a program for the following computational problems. Your program must request user to enter the value. Okay, write a computer program to generate a line equation based on two coordinate points entered or given by user. So line equation equal to line equation that you going to use is y equal to m times x plus c, mx plus c, where m equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and c equal to y1 minus m times x1. So what is the input that user must enter?
Koordinat X dengan Y.
Yes, koordinat x dengan y. Maksudnya user must enter contohnya yang inilah. Okay, you can see here example of the execution. User must enter x1, x2, y1, y2, and then you must process it. You must calculate m and you must calculate y, and then after that you going to have the you going to print out like this. The equation is y equal to m, value of m here, times x plus value of c here. Okay. Okay, so I want you to do it now. Okay. Okay. This is my sample answer for this exercise, hard level. So the first one, I'm going to ask user to enter the value. So here is input from user for coordinate x and y. Okay, so I will ask user to enter x1, x2, y1, y2. Let's say you want to name your identifier like this, also can. Okay, it is up to you. Okay, so awak nak buat macam ni pun boleh. Okay, so let's say now I have x underscore 1. I want user to enter for x1, x2, y1, y2. Okay, so after that, I'm going to calculate. Here is the process. Calculate m and c. Okay, I'm going to calculate m and c. So for m equal to y2. So we must use the same name as here. So y underscore 2 minus y underscore 1 over x underscore 2 minus x underscore 1. Okay, so I just follow this equation. Okay, we just follow this equation to get m. Okay, now we already have a process to calculate for m. So now we move to C. Okay, C. C, we know that in C, this is the formula to get C, which is C equal to y1 minus m times x1. Okay, so C equal to y1. Our y1 here is like this, y underscore 1. So we put y underscore 1 minus m times x underscore 1. Okay, so we have C now. And then after that, we going to print out this one. The equation is y equal to, what is the value for m, which is based on our calculation for this one. Okay, times x plus what is the value for C, which is we get from here. So that's why I put like this. Print the equation is y equal to, comma, m, value from here. Okay, and then I have another text to be displayed here. Time x plus C. C I will get from here. Okay, so when I run it, I will have x1. What is the value for x1? Let's say 10, 90, 15, 80. 10, 90, 15, 80. 15, 80. So I will get, the equation is y equal to 0.8125. 8125 is come from m, value of m that we calculated here. Okay, and then times x plus C. Our value for C is 6.875. Okay, so settle there. Faham tak kelas? Kita debug. Okay, let's debug. Kalau nak bagi nampak lebih faham, kita debug. Okay. Oh, lupa. Saya nak letak satu lagi kat sini. Output. Okay. Okay. So, let's debug. Okay, so now our compiler will go to the first line, which is line number 2. So we're going to ask user to enter input x1. So x1 I put here, let's say I put the same value 10. And then after that, okay, we know that it is in text, so it will convert into integer. So we have now our x1 is 10. We move to the next, x2. Okay, so we have x2 90. Okay, so now our x2 is 90. 90. Okay, now we move to the next one, which is y1. We ask user to enter value for y1. y1 is 15. Okay, so when we use eval, it will convert to the integer. So now our y1 is 15. Okay, we move to the next line, which is line number 5. Ask user to enter value for y2. Okay, so y2 I put the same value 80. So eval we convert into integer. So now I have y2 is 80. Okay, understand so far? Boleh kelas?
Boleh.
Boleh, madam.
Okay. Now we move to the process. We want to calculate m. So we know that m equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So m equal to, so it will get y2 minus y1 first. So it will retrieve value for y2, which is 80 here. Okay, so it get 80. Minus y1, y1 is 15, so it will minus there. So when 80 minus 15, we get 65. Okay, now move to the next one, which is, okay, if you can see here, the calculation in coding similar like calculation in mathematics. Okay, it will do in bracket first. Okay, it will do in bracket first, and then after that it will proceed to with times, minus, something like that. Okay, times, divide, and then after that plus, minus. Okay, the same sequence as in mathematics. Okay, so now you can see the first one, it will do the calculation in this bracket first, and then it will do second calculation in this bracket. Okay, so for the second bracket, x2 which is 90 minus x1 which is 10. So 90 minus 10 will be 80. Okay, so now both bracket are done. Okay, so next it will do the divide. So it will do the division now. 65 over 80 will be 0.8125. Okay, next. Okay, so now we already have m here. M is, our value for m is 0.8125. Okay, next it will go to the next line, which is we want to calculate c. Okay, so now c equal to y1, which is the value for y1 is 10. Sorry, y1 is 15. Sorry, x1 and 2. Okay, y1 is 15 minus with in the bracket. So it will do in the bracket first. M, our value for m is 0.8125. Here, come from here. Okay, times with x1. Our x1 is 10. So times with 10. So it will get 8.125. So now it will do this equation. 15 minus 8.125. Okay, so dia akan buat yang ni. So C akan dapat 6.875. Okay. Okay, so we have C. We have M, we have C. So now we want to print out our equation. So we will print out our equation. As I mentioned before, any text inside this quad is something that we want to display in our output. So in this case, the text that we going to display in our output is the equation is double dot y equal to. So that's why you're going to have that text, and you're going to print out value in M. Value in M is 0.8125. So you're going to print out there after this text. After this text, you're going to print out value of M. Okay, and then after value of M, you're going to print out this text dot x plus. Okay, so you're going to print out this text, and then after this text, you're going to print out value of C, which is 6.875. So that's why you're going to have this one. The equation is double dot y equal to 0.8125 times x plus 6.875. Okay, macam tu. Faham? Faham kelas?
Faham.
Okay, good. Okay, bagus. So if faham